tonight in downtown Houston. Hot? Yes, much like the ball club, as tonight the Houston Astros try and win game 2 of a 3-game set against the LA Angels of Anaheim and win the series. Again, I'm Brett Dolan down in the field here at Minute Maid Park. Last night we talked about the contributions in the lineup 5 through 9. Really, the last 2 games, those numbers have been off the charts. We know what George Springer has done batting leadoff, and Jose Altuve has continued an amazing season batting third. Another component, though, of this lineup shuffling has to be Marwin Gonzalez batting second and Carlos Correa batting fourth, as we take a closer look at our Toyota Tundra playing to win. And Marwin, you see his numbers in the last 10 games, a .378 average. He scored 7 runs. A.J. Hinch had an interesting thought. Maybe Marwin, as a switch hitter, can just change a pitcher's sight line. It's not all right-handed batters against right-handed pitchers. As a pull hitter, batting lefty, he gives a big hole on the right side to shoot for if George Springer is on first base. And Carlos Correa, well, he has continued to put up big numbers. Look what he's done in the last 6 games. Hit a couple of home runs. He's also taken his walks. A.J. Hinch said he's hunting some RBIs as well in that cleanup spot, and feels like he's dialed up his aggressiveness on the first pitches of at-bats, and he called that welcomed. We'll see if Correa can do that tonight. Correa and Gonzalez and the Houston Astros ready to take on the LA Angels of Anaheim. Bill Brown and Alan Ashby will have the call when you come back to Minute Maid Park.
Park, where his career record is 22-11 with a 3.79 ERA. He's going out to pitch game 2 of this 3-game series. This pitching performance is powered by Kubota. We'll show you bookends of Doug Fister and the last 6 starts, with Fister starting the first and ending the 6th last night. The average is 6 2/3 innings, a 2.01 ERA for the Astros starting pitchers those last 6 starts. Ash.
3rd best in the major leagues over that span of time. And when you win, generally speaking, you do it because you've gotten good starting pitching. Obviously, you need the offense to participate. The defense has been strong for the Astros throughout the season. They're a very aggressive and good base running team. But you add in that solid starting pitching and you've got a great chance. Colin McHugh, the guy that goes to the mound tonight, just turned 29. And Colin has had an up and down season, 5-5 on the record. That ERA has dipped below 5 at this point. Collins had some success in 7 career starts against the Angels, going 4-2, and some other very good numbers against the Angels through his couple of years.
2.86 ERA in those 7 starts against the Angels of Anaheim. Here's the lineup he'll be facing for Mike Scioscia. Yunel Escobar leads it off at third base. It's Cole Calhoun in right field. Mike Trout in center. Daniel Nava in left. C.J. Cron at first base. Jeffrey Marte the DH. Johnny Giovitella at second base. Carlos Perez the catcher. Andrelton Simmons at shortstop. The pitcher will be Hector Santiago, a lefty. McHugh, as you mentioned, just turned 29. He had his birthday on Sunday. That happened to be Father's Day, and his father, Scott McHugh, is in Houston. And Father Scott and Mother Teresa at the game tonight.
Mother Teresa, you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mother Teresa McHugh. Yunel Escobar gets it going. And he takes strike one. Gary Cederstrom, the crew chief, is the home plate umpire. Escobar at 310 has 3 homers, 19 runs batted in.
Colin's got quite an entourage.
He really does. Curveball works, and it snowballs 2 strikes. That's an awfully big pitch for him, Ash.
Starts things with that little cut slider job that he'll bring, and when he's consistent with it, it'll stay away on the right-handers. But that curveball, probably the key weapon.
And he almost got the hitter to go fishing for it, but Escobar checked his swing on appeal to Eric Cooper. It's 1-2. Escobar 2 for 13 against Houston this season. He led off last night and went 1 for 5 as the Astros won at 10-7. The Angels came back with a late grand slam in the 9th. There's the breakdown on the curveball chase percentage, up this year for Colin. Inside it comes for ball 2. Last time out at St. Louis, a very good start for Colin. 6 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 1 run. The Astros won the game 4-1. He got a no decision. Curve is tapped to third near the line. Difficult play. Valbuena looping throw, not in time. And that's an infield hit for Escobar.
Once again, a good curveball sets up this little ground ball on the left side. And a near impossible play at third on the Mattress Firm Supermo. You get the great look, and what Luis Valbuena was looking at was, again, an extremely difficult opportunity.
Escobar's aboard for Cole Calhoun. Calhoun, a .286 hitter with 9 homers, has 38 runs batted in. .341 on the road compared to .231 at home. He was 0 for 2 with a walk in last night's game. That's a foul, strike 1. Calhoun, a very important man in the scheme of things for Mike Scioscia. With his power out of the number 2 spot in the lineup, he has a .452 slugging percentage.
I don't think you hear a lot about Calhoun, as the conversation might go with right fielders, but he's got a genuine right fielder's arm, plays the position well, and like you say, Brownie, dangerous with the stick.
Hit 26 homers last year, drove in 83 runs. Curveball brought a check swing, and the Astros get the call on it from Ramon de Jesus.
It's pretty good looking curveball on its own part. Might have been under the knees, but you take this up to the front of the plate, and that's where you have to give it its last look.
Really unusual that Calhoun is the only left-handed hitter on this club right now. Good stop there by Evan Gattis on ball 1, down and in.
I think Calhoun is indicating he felt that ball might have caught a piece of the uniform pant leg on the left leg.
Okay.
What do we have, a comedy act going
yeah.
on between home plate umpire and the Angels bench? Might have caught a little bit of that pant leg there.
Kind of hard to tell.
Need to get the trainer out there.
Mike Scioscia is going to press his point and ask the umpires to take a look at it. Daniel Nava will be batting left tonight, but he has been a switch hitter, so I mentioned Calhoun, the only strictly left-handed hitter in this lineup. They'll take a look early at this, and the Astros won a review last night on that ball that was off the knob of the bat of Mike Trout.
See if you could see that pant leg get brushed. I don't know. I'm not sure that's going to draw any change in the call.
Couldn't see anything there, Ash.
Or is there shoe maybe instead of pant leg? That shoe might be the area that they're going to look at. Does that ball change direction at all?
Couldn't tell. What do you think?
To me, it's not enough to change anything. Take first.
They're going to give it to him. Hit by the pitch. So now a dilemma for Colin McHugh. Runners at first and second as Calhoun is ruled to be hit by the pitch. Nobody out for Mike Trout. That was a 59-second review on that call.
Well, that's the way it should be done. Just take your good look or two in New York and make the call.
Mike Trout, 298, 14 homers, 47 runs batted in, leads the club in homers with 14. He was 0 for 3 last night. That's ball 1 to Trout with Nava on deck. Trout's 2 for 11 with a homer against Colin McHugh in his career. Cracks a curveball for the left field wall. That bangs off that wall. It's played by Jake Marisnick as the runner comes around third and toward the plate. The throw goes into second. 1-0 Angels on the RBI single by Trout.
Take a look now at our MD Anderson strike zone as we look at this rocket off the bat of Mike Trout. A curveball, and not a bad one, as he goes out front and gets it. It will appear to be up a little bit, but nice play by Jake Marisnick in left field to not only get this back quickly, but something on it into second base. All starts with that little ground ball in the infield for the base hit.
Daniel Nava now, switch hitting left fielder, checks in at 226 with 1 homer, 6 runs batted in. Taking strike 1. Good fastball over the inside part of the plate. McHugh has had first inning problems this year. In his 14 starts, his first inning ERA is 8.78.
A lot of that coming from outing number 1, game number 2 for the Astros in New York.
They went 1/3 of an inning and gave up 5 earned runs in that one. Infield is shifted around on Nava. Nava came from independent baseball, and Boston signed him in 08. Rips an inside pitch foul, and it's no balls, 2 strikes with C.J. Cron on deck. Albert Pujols is resting tonight. There are reports that his left leg is bothering him. The Angels are 7-11 in the month of June. They've won their last 2 series. Nava takes, and it's 1-2. The Astros are 3-1 against the Halos this season. Finale of the series will be a 1:10 start tomorrow. Lance McCullers opposing Matt Shoemaker. And the Astros head for Kansas City. Fouled away. Colin this season at home is 3-2 with a 4.76 ERA. His last home start came here against Oakland. He got a no decision in that one. Nice day to have an air-conditioned ballpark. It is sizzling outside. Upstairs, ball 2, and it's 2-2.
Talk about the temps. The Astros got a chance of playing in some real warm weather coming up on the upcoming road trip, Kansas City and Anaheim.
2 very hot places right now. Runner goes from first, swing and a miss. No throw to second. That's a stolen base by Trout, his 10th of the year. And it's a strikeout of Nava, 1 out.
Mike Trout has been running a bit more recently, and he's done it very effectively in terms of the numbers, 10 of 11. And curveball's been picked up a hit for a couple of hits here in the inning, including the double or single by Trout, but good looking curveball for the strikeout.
C.J. Cron now with runners at second and third and 1 out has driven in 30 runs. He's had 5 homers and a .265 average. He takes the curve for ball one. Cron had an RBI double in 4 trips last night. Big situation here, trailing 1-0. Can McHugh stop the damage at 1 run? Foul back, and it's a 1-ball 1-strike count.
If he does so, it'll be a masterful job to get that done.
Yeah, the infield is playing back. Runner at third, Calhoun. It's 2-1.
Sometimes the strongest part of a given start for a pitcher might be an inning where he simply cuts down the would-be big inning for the opposition.
Absolutely. A lot of pitchers give up a single run in the first and are able to overcome that and win the game. It's 3-1 now to Cron.
Pitch is up, but is it up in the strike zone? That's the question. And I would say absolutely. And a pitch that Colin McHugh and anybody on the mound needs. Not a give-in time right here.
First base open. Fouled away. 3-2.
I think Colin and Evan Gattis felt the same way. A little cutter right there.
Jeffrey Marte's on deck. With Gattis behind the plate, the Astros have won 8 and lost 4. And their ERA in those games has been 2.79.
Really has been good.
Fouled again. The Astros have gotten their bullpen some much needed rest. Doug Fister went 7 last night. 3 relief pitchers worked in the game, but Will Harris has had a few days off now. The Sunday game was a game shared by Mike Fiers and Chris Davinsky for the 9 innings. So Brent Strom's A relief corps has had a chance to get a little breather here. Gregerson included. And a strikeout. That's exactly what McHugh needed there for out number 2.
Back to that over the top. Very good looking curveball for Colin here early. He stayed with it despite the couple of hits against that pitch. And a key strikeout for out number 2 in the inning.
Really well located, Ash.
What I thought Mike Trout did on the one curveball that got lashed off the wall in left field was he got out in front and got it before it totally broke down and maybe below the knees.
Jeffrey Marte, the DH, has hit .333. With 4 homers, 10 runs batted in. It's his 25th birthday. Little tapper back to the mound. And McHugh does limit the damage to 1 run on 2 hits with 2 men left in scoring position. 1-0 Angels. Here's the Astros starting lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. George Springer's the leadoff man and right fielder. It's Marwin Gonzalez at first base. Jose Altuve at second. Carlos Correa at shortstop cleans it up. Followed by a torrid center fielder, Carlos Gomez. A DH, Danny Worth. A catcher, Evan Gattis. A third baseman, Luis Valbuena. And a left fielder, Jake Marisnick.
And on the mound for the Angels, you see the left-hander. Hector Santiago goes out there. He's had 14 starts. It's been also a rocky up and down season for Santiago, 4-4 with the 5.30 ERA. In the American League West, he's pitched pretty well.
Ground ball to Andrelton Simmons, and George Springer's retired on one pitch. Santiago 1-2 in his career against the Astros with a 4.05 ERA. Last year, he pitched 4 times against Houston. He was 1-0 with a 1.85 earned run average, and this is the first time he's faced the Astros this year. He's an interesting study, Ash, the way he throws across his body, and we'll be looking at that as the game develops. Marwin Gonzalez, the batter. He has put some very good games together. 257 his current average, 5 homers, 16 runs batted in, hit him .313 with a homer on the homestand. He looks at ball 1.
Generally, Brownie, that left-hander that throws across his body is going to create nightmares for the left-hand hitters, and yet the lefties have hit .236 against him. Not a great number, but not terrible.
Marwin looks at it. It's in for a strike to even the count at 1-1. Marwin's 2 for 8 with a homer against Santiago.
But I think this Astros lineup is built to hammer left-hand pitching.
That's why it's somewhat puzzling that the Astros record is 8-13 against left-handed starters. 2-1. Marwin fouls it back, and it's 2-2. Santiago is 28 years old. He was born in Newark, New Jersey. Went to junior college in Florida. Last year he was 9-9 with the Halos with a 3.59 ERA. He's won 27 and lost 32 in his major league career. He was with the White Sox at the outset of his career. They drafted him in the 30th round in '06. That's down, and Marwin has worked the count full. Marwin's 3 for 11 against the Anaheim club this year. Last night he had 3 opportunities to reach base. He had a single, hit by a pitch, and a walk. Shot in the air. Mike Trout back into right center field. 2 down.
Just gliding to the catch, and that ball was juiced pretty well by Marwin.
Jose Altuve said after the game last night, first 2 times up, he grounded out the shortstop. He was tired of hitting the ball to short. He wanted to hit it somewhere else, and he hit it 431 feet for a home run. 343, 11 homers, 40 runs batted in, a 10-game hitting streak against the Halos.
Yeah, so just go to the big part of the park and go yard.
Up and in, ball 1. Altuve is 4 for 17 against Santiago. And you saw his glittering numbers. He's second in batting average in the American League. He leads the league in on-base average, 423. Out to center field. Trout with a long run. Now back toward Towles Hill with a tremendous play by Mike Trout to make it a 1-2-3 first. A real Trout showcase there on these 2 fly balls, and he goes straight back to grab the deep drive from Altuve. 1-0 Angels.
time to take a look at our Chevy Stro poll. We've got a good one for you tonight. We want to know which mischievous Astros moment was the best of the year. Last night, Colby Rasmus went into the dugout convinced his team was going to win the replay on the Mike Trout ball off the knob of the bat. This one's going to be hard to beat, though. Tyler White's car out there right below Towles Hill. That's a nice look right there. And how about Altuve stealing Jake's hat? Just took it off during the walk-off. And here's the fling at the end. Don't hurt your rotator cuff on this one, Jose. Right here lets it fly. Head over to the Root Sports Southwest Twitter page to vote now in our poll.
Thanks, Brett. There's ball one to Johnny Giavotella. Votella is on a 9-game hitting streak. Giavotella, 278, 6 homers, 24 runs batted in. I decided to shorten it, Ash.
You feel free. You can do it any way you want.
No. Foul back.
It's not legal to take the hat of the most interesting man in the world, is it?
Not really. It's a good view of the action. 1 ball, 1 strike. Giavotella got into the game late last night and hit an 8th inning homer coming off the bench. 278, 6 homers, 24 runs batted in, 412 during his hitting streak.
I think given the word, most of the broadcasters will go with Votella.
Okay, we'll vote for him. 1 and 2. Well, sometimes he hits 5th. He's in the number 7 spot tonight, so a key man for Mike Scioscia in his lineup. That was his 4th homer last night in his last 7 games. He has a new career high of 6 home runs. He's the first Angels second baseman with 4 or more homers in the month of June since Tony Phillips in 1995. Curveball, strikeout number 3 for Colin McHugh.
That Yakker's got a chance to pick up a few Ks tonight. Again, Colin turns to Uncle Charlie right over the top. Well, that was a masterful job by Colin to get out of that first inning, allowing just the 1 run.
Now that might be a key. We'll see how the game develops. Carlos Perez is the batter. Breaking pitch comes in for strike 1 to a 190 hitter with 3 homers, 16 runs batted in. He was 1 for 4 last night. Foul ball makes it 0-2. The Angels are 8th in runs scored in the American League. They've lost 12 of their last 17 here at Minute Maid Park. Mike Scioscia's club with 31 wins, 39 losses, trailing the pace-setting Texas Rangers by 14.5 games in 4th place. Curveball works for strikeout number 4 already for Colin McHugh.
See previous strikeout. I mean, that's just the same thing. Mike Trout's been the only guy that's really been able to get to it. Escobar got a little tapper in the infield for a base hit. This is an effective looking pitch.
He's undeterred despite that RBI single by Trout off the pitch. Andrelton Simmons follows in the number 9 spot. Looking at ball 1. Simmons with a .215 average has 1 homer, 10 runs batted in. He was 0 for 3 last night. He missed weeks with a torn ligament in his left thumb. Fouled away, and that makes it 1-1. The Astros have won 10 of their last 12 here at Minute Maid Park. They're 20-15 in their home ballpark. And their pitching has been superb here. Swerves outside for a ball. Their ERA is 3.21 at home. Inside for ball 3. Simmons was just activated from the disabled list after that thumb injury. Prior to Wednesday's game, he suffered the injury May 8th. In the air to left center. Risnick heads back. Gomez is there for a quick 1-2-3 second inning with the score 1-0 Angels. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, donating $100 for each Astros home run and $200 for each Correa home run to Houston Children's Charity. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Our buddy Orbit is not hiding. 1-0 Angels, bottom of the second inning. Santiago delivers to Carlos Correa. There is strike one call. Correa with a .259 average, has 10 homers, 36 runs batted in. Looks at that one for strike two. Carlos has hit a couple of long balls on this homestand, one coming last night. He also had a double and drove in 3. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Santiago. Santiago is coming off a win over the Twins on Wednesday. He gave up 1 run in 6 innings. Foul back by Carlos. Nicely done.
Come to the ballpark, you have arguments about who gets to hold the C or the O. Or...
Struck him out. That's 4 in a row sit down by Santiago to open the night. Carlos Gomez has really gotten it going at the plate, Ash.
He really has. He picked up some soft hits last night, but hits are hits, as they say. And every one of those hits right now from Carlos Gomez paying off in the back end of this batting order for the Astros. Well, he can make a big difference for what this club can do offensively. Another one of those softies, but really a pretty piece of hitting.
He's one of the guys they count on to hit left-handers. Ball 1 to Gomez. 6-game hitting streak for Carlos. 222, 3 homers, 14 runs batted in, 480 during his 6-game streak. Showing bunt. He looks at the ball. 2-0 as the score is being kept right there. Nice big scorebook.
I wonder how much it would cost for me to pay him to do that for me. Take care of some business here.
Do it for free. You never know.
Yeah. Get him a seat on the plane. I got my man that I need.
You know, some people just can't watch a game without keeping score.
Used to be the way, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's a very professional scorebook. 3-1.
Yeah, it kind of looks like my scorebook, doesn't it, Brum?
Pretty much.
And that's that big swing from Carlos Gomez that often doesn't pay off. Again last night, that nice controlled swing that really did pay off well.
Now 3-2. That's strike 3.
Right there at the knees. Well spotted pitch. And certainly a pitch that you can't afford to take with a couple of strikes on you.
Danny Worth is the DH tonight. He's hit .211 for the Astros. Worth was 0 for 1 in last night's game. Played a little shortstop at the end of the night. He's 4 for 10 against lefties since joining Houston. And that's one of his primary functions with this club, to be in that starting lineup against the Southpaws. This might be the last lefty they see for a while. Ball 1 to Worth. Scheduled to face 3 right-handers in Kansas City in that 3-game series. In the air to right field. Calhoun backing for out number 3. That's 6 in a row for Santiago. 1-0 Angels after 2.
begins at Minute Maid Park with the best fireworks show in town. The next Friday night fireworks spectacular is an Americana themed show on July 1st. For more information, visit astros.com/fireworks or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Ronnie?
That'll be a series with the Chicago White Sox on July 1st. Thanks, Brett. White Sox followed by Seattle and Oakland on the next long homestand beginning on that date, July 1st. 1-0 Angels as the top of the order rolls around again. It's Yunel Escobar who led off the game with an infield hit to third. Luis Valbuenas just a step behind the bag at third this time. A little bit closer to the line than he was last time. Ball goes to him on 2 bounces. It's a 1-pitch out, number 1 for Colin McHugh, who's retired 7 in a row.
He had a nice adjustment defensively, and also not a bad fastball in on the hands.
Absolutely right, Ash. He's moving that around. He throws his fastball 32% of the time, cut fastball 32% of the time this year.
That's where it gets a little dicey, because with some guys that I've caught in the past, it's almost the same pitch. Yes, you're making an adjustment, but obviously they've got a distinction between all the pitches now.
Cole Calhoun was hit by a pitch upon video review. They strike 1 to him.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people saying, well, he doesn't throw the fastball enough because it's only 32%. But in my mind, you have to throw in those cut fastballs as a fastball as well.
It's about the same velocity.
Very close.
0-2.
Go back to Mariano Rivera. Everything was a cut fastball, and nobody would have dared say he never throws his fastball.
McHugh is a 30-game winner the last 2 seasons combined. Only a couple of Astros have done that. Flick foul, at least in their first 2 years with the Astros. Only 2 guys have posted more wins than McHugh's 30 in his first 2 seasons. Roy Oswalt won 33 in his first 2 years with the Astros. Roger Clemens won 31 in his first 2. One and 2.
That high heat exactly where Colin wanted it.
Angels haven't faced Colin since last July 28th here at Minute Maid Park. Little tap. Stays fair. McHugh throwing from the foul side. He throws it away. Altuve will back up the play, and the runner stays at first.
Yeah, I have a problem with this base running by Calhoun. He comes up well inside the base path, inside on the grass, and forced Colin McHugh to have to go to the outside. And to me, if there's an infraction on the rule, this is it. Watch where Calhoun goes, and it's intentional. And that forces an adjustment defensively for McHugh. It might have been wise for Marwin Gonzalez to set up toward that outside.
It's ruled a hit for Calhoun. Mike Trout's the batter. He singled in the first run. Ball 1 to Trout.
Take your peek. Is that inside the base path? Did it impair the opportunity for the fielder to make the play? Well, he was able to pick up the baseball off the ground, if that's the interpretation, but it certainly impacted the play in the end.
If McHugh's throw had hit Calhoun in the back, would the Astros have gotten a call? For...
Allegedly, and that's what every home plate umpire will say. Well, hit him in the back. That's a really tough decision to make when you're making the play.
Remember that opening series at Yankee Stadium for the Astros, and Joe Girardi talked about that Dellin Betances throw. He airmailed one over the first baseman on a Carlos Correa grounder, and that really turned that game around. Girardi was furious about that call. It's 2-1.
You know, and catchers hear this all the time. Sometimes pitchers. But go ahead and drill him in the back. But again, when you're making that play in the midst of the competition, it's really hard to say, okay, here's the time. Now I'm going to just go ahead and crank one into the number.
Sure. 3-1 to Trout. That cutter got away from Colin a bit. 46 pitches for him to this point. He was drafted by the Mets, traded to Colorado, claimed on waivers by Houston. Bouncer first, backhanded. Marlin gets it to second. Correa darted over in front of Altuve to catch it for the force play. Did not make the return throw. Out number 2 goes from 3 to 6.
This was, in my opinion, clearly an attempt by Mike Trout to hit one through that vacated right side. Watch this as we can't quite see it as he fights it off to the right side. And fortunately, Marwin able to get over and make the play. But we're starting to see, I think, more and more hitters taking shots at the vacated side of the infield. Watch him fight it and push in that direction.
Yeah.
And, you know, the majority of the time, if you're able to put it on the ground to the right side like that, you will find a big hole.
Daniel Nava struck out earlier. Throw goes over on Trout. Trout stole second in the first inning. Trout stole a lot of bases early in his career. He stole only 11 last year in 18 attempts. He's cut down on his running tries. There's ball one. Brett Dolan.
Hey, Brownie and Ash, I ran into a father and son today that drove all the way in from Tennessee, the Braves fans, and it begged the question, well, why? And the father said to me it was a chance to see 2 generational players, Carlos Correa and Mike Trout, on the same field at the same time. I think I like his perspective.
There's some star power attracting those fans. Well, they have an angle that a lot of people would quickly recognize as a reason to come see this game or watch it on TV. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 of the top talents in the game on the same field.
It's pretty insightful on their part, too, because I would agree those are generational players. I think Carlos Correa has a long ways to go right now to fulfill, but it's going to happen.
And of course, they figure to have many more opportunities with Trout being 23 and Correa 21, but nonetheless, it's just a rare chance. 1-2.
Those are big time talents.
Correa was the first player drafted. Trout was the 25th player drafted in 2009. Nava is down on strikes again. That's number 5 for McHugh. And in the 3rd inning, no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We go to the bottom half with a score 1-0 Angels.
Saturday Sports and Outdoors and the Houston Astros are hitting home runs for Houston, the 5 longest on the year for the Astros. Carlos Correa is the king, along with Colby Rasmus. Those were pretty long bombs. But then there was George Springer, Carlos Correa once again, and Evan Gattis getting into the act. I would contend that a couple of shots by Jose Altuve might be also on that list, but got some guys hitting them pretty far.
Evan Gattis puts it in the air. Here's the first baseman Crone coming over for it. 1 pitch, 1 out for Santiago, who's cruising along through the first 7 batters here. He threw ball 1-2 for the first 6. Luis Valbuena, who's been hitting lefties lately, has put together a 4-game hitting streak. Has a .250 batting average now. 8 homers, 22 runs batted in for Valbuena. Santiago, in 2 games in his career at Minute Maid, is 1-1 with a 4.35 ERA. Ash pointed out lefties are hitting .236 against him. Showing bunt. Valbuena takes ball 1.
He's watching, and now it goes on. Valbuena digging in, and I can't help but reflect back to days gone by. Bob Gibson, Don Drysdale. How might they have felt about that little scene?
Well, there might have been a little chin music there.
They may not have said a whole lot, but other than with their fastball.
True. 2-0. Valbuena fouls it. Santiago had a stranglehold on the Astros last year in his start against Colin McHugh in Anaheim May 7th last year. He gave up 1 hit and no runs in 6 1/3 innings. Left with a 1-0 lead, got a no decision. Fouled away by Valbuena. 2-2 to Luis.
You know, Brownie, we were talking about some of the reasons the Astros have turned things around over the past month in particular. Luis Valbuena has been a big part of that offensively.
Sure has. He brings that power to the bottom of the lineup. Has 8 homers, 12 doubles. 3-2. Well, it was a drought for him in April. Valbuena did not go deep that month, but now he's made up for some lost ground. He is 0 for 5 lifetime against this lefty. Stays alive, and this is what he's been doing. He's been battling and working counts really well the last few weeks.
Yeah, that was good. He kept that front side closed on that curveball, able to get a piece. But that back half of the batting order has made a huge difference in terms of raising that runs per game number we showed.
In the air, and this will be out of play. Hitters 5 through 9 for the Astros have turned it around since June 9th, going from 208 to 269. On base average much better, slugging way up, and runs batted in, showing a productive group.
Yeah, and then you combine that with the other numbers we showed, the pitching staff really improving in that same time frame, and it's added up to simply picking up a lot more wins.
Valbuena rips one, and that could be extra base as it kicks out. He's going to try for second. Here's Calhoun with the throw, and it's there. He's out. Simmons with the tag for out number 2. As Calhoun picks up his 3rd outfield assist, he put it right on the money for a 9-6 play at second.
Now we've talked about the arm and really the overall capability in right field from Calhoun. He is really good, and he has an extremely strong and accurate throwing arm. But Andrelton Simmons is pretty slick himself. As you watch what he does at second base, you'll see the shortstop for the Angels actually stand backwards, back to first base, and then snap down a quick tag. That's pretty slick. Rather than standing on the other side and reaching with the tag, that's really good.
Jake Marisnick takes. There's ball 1 to Marisnick. It's 2-0. Jake at 182 has 1 homer, 6 runs batted in. Jake's 4 for 14 with a homer against Angel pitching this year. Fouls it back, and it's a 2-ball 1-strike count. Marisnick 0 for 1 in last night's game. He's hit .250 in his last 15. It's 2-2. Plenty of room to the left of Simmons. Up the middle for Marisnick.
One of those pitches, that last one, that you'd like to handle as a hitter. Fastball 92 miles an hour, up and out over the plate.
In for ball 3. It's a full count. If he hits the ball to left center, he can run for a while.
If Jake Marisnick runs for a while, it's going to be a number of bags.
Fouled away. Did you see that time on Colby Rasmus on the bunt from home to first last night?
Did not see the time put up. I'll tell you this, the eye test for me says Colby runs well when he gets it moving.
3.58.
It's not quite the numbers that people used to say about Mickey Mantle, but certainly not bad.
Ball 4, and Jake is aboard.
Our Lexus defensive ratings, and you look at the Angels outfield again. We go back to Cole Calhoun. He can really throw. You don't want to run on him a whole lot. Mike Trout the same way. An aggressive outfielder, accurate with his throwing. Daniel Nava, the guy in left field, is the one. Probably third base coaches are going to be unanimously saying we're going to try to run whenever we can, but they've got a couple of good arms out there.
George Springer hit the first pitch on the ground to shortstop in the first inning. Strike 1 to George. Since Springer moved to the leadoff spot, the Astros have gone 18-8. He's hit .274, 6 homers, 16 runs batted in those 26 games, and he has an .832 OPS. That breaks down to .354 on base average for George, .478 slugging. Very solid numbers. That's blocked. Here goes the runner. Now he's caught. The throw goes to second. Throw back to first. He did get back. Marisnick hit the deck and retraced his steps.
It's pretty good base running. And Jake he's a gifted guy. He does a lot of things instinctually better than a number of players. He's got some great tools. Put that offensive game together, and he's a gem.
The Astros have not been a .500 club since the second game of the season.
I'm going. Yeah, maybe I didn't have the jump I felt like I needed, and then the reaction play to get back. He's a big man on top of all of that.
He's going now, and they've got him if they execute. High throw, and he is out nonetheless on the tag by Simmons. Well, Simmons makes a couple of tags at second in the inning, and it's no runs, 1 hit, nobody left. We go to the 4th with the score 1-0 Angels.
Coca-Cola Astros Buddies memberships are on sale right now. They're only $25. Buddies members get a voucher for 4 tickets to an Astros game, VIP access to Kids Run the Bases, exclusive autograph sessions, and maybe some more to go with it. Memberships for kids up to 12 years of age are available right now by visiting astros.com/buddies.
Foul ball by C.J. Cron. Comes back off the home plate umpire, Gary Cedarstrom. And the 4th inning is underway with strike 1 for Colin McHugh. Cron struck out in the first on a full count offering. He looks back at Cedarstrom, giving him a little extra time. Roy Oswalt is the all-time win leader at Minute Maid Park with 77. Colin McHugh is in a 5th place tie with Roger Clemens with 22 wins here in this ballpark. 1-1. Clemens was 22-10 here. McHugh is 22-11 here. Wandy Rodriguez is 2nd in home wins in this ballpark. That's driven to left field, and that's going to make it 2-0. Cron goes deep for the 6th time. That's 31 runs batted in for Cron. th home run surrendered by McHugh in 80 1/3 innings.
It's not a hugely powerful lineup for the Angels, but that curveball stayed up and got slapped around for doing so.
Jeffrey Marte grounded back to the pitcher earlier. Puts this in the air. Marwin Gonzalez over into foul territory. 1 out. Johnny Giavotella will be next. Cron enjoying the moment on the Angels bench. Reds lead the Rangers 3-2 in Arlington. They're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Anthony DeSclafani pitching for Cincinnati. Jay Bruce hit his 16th homer. Colby Lewis is on the mound for Texas. Jurickson Profar hit his 3rd. Giavotella struck out. Fly ball left center field. Marisnik down for the catch. The lights may have caused him an issue.
That was a lighting battle right there. We saw it a number of times for George Springer early in the season in right field. It's a kind of a rarity out in left center field, but I don't know if you've ever tried to make a play with a line drive in the lights. It's just like a ball in the sun. Yeah, whoa. Let's not do that again.
Nicely done. He lowered his eye level and picked that ball out of the lights. Carlos Perez on the curveball, checked his swing. There's ball 1. Eric Cooper with the call. Perez struck out earlier.
You know, you really appreciate a teammate who sticks in there, hangs in, and makes the play when it's really tough. You know how hard it is to find that ball in the lights.
Valbuena swings it over. A good stretch by Marwin Gonzalez. Cron's home run makes it 2-0 in the 4th.
He hit the 2 balls to the shortstop, and before his third at bat, he said, "I'm tired of hitting the ball to the shortstop. I might as well just hit it out of the park." And then he did. So that's Jose Altuve in a nutshell.
That's our Geico quote of the day from the skip, A.J. Hinch. And I guess pretty smart commentary by Jose Altuve. Can't catch him out there, can they?
It's not that easy, is it?
Apparently for Altuve it is.
George Springer was at the plate when Marisnick was thrown out, trying to steal. He begins the 4th inning now for Houston. 0 for 1 in this game. The Astros trailing 2-0 against Hector Santiago. He throws strike 1. It's 1-1. Batting average against this lefty is .247. His ERA is over 5. 2-1. The Astros really had a nice game offensively last night. Their hitters had great at bats with men in scoring position. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They wound up with 6 hits and 15 at bats with runners in scoring position.
Pretty healthy swing right there by George.
There was a good swing. You know, the Astros got 3 in the first last night. They sent 8 men to the plate. They got 3 more in the third and went on to win 10-7. Strike 3 call. That's the 3rd strikeout for Santiago.
It's just a case of finding inside edge or close to it when a hitter's maybe looking out over the plate.
A little refreshment there in that brightly colored area.
You could refresh me with some big offense right about now.
That's what's been lacking. Marwin Gonzalez hit a fly ball on a 3-2 pitch. Mike Trout ran it down. Ball 1. Angels pitching is 12th in the American League with a 4.40 ERA. Friday, Matt Shoemaker goes tomorrow for them against Lance McCullers. Angels are really banged up right now. They have 9 players on the disabled list. That would almost hit him. 2-0. Marwin's dinged up. Got hit by a pitch last night.
Yeah, that one that got him while batting left-handed last night on the back knee probably has alerted him to get out of the way from here on out.
Fouled away. On the disabled list right now are Garrett Richards, the #1 starter, Andrew Heaney, a fine young lefty, C.J. Wilson, a veteran lefty, Tyler Skaggs, he's coming back from Tommy John surgery, Nick Tropiano, Joe Smith, Corey Rasmus. It's a pretty heavy load of guys on the DL and some position players. 2-2.
Oftentimes when a club is scuffling, that's the reason. You got a number of the key players that are hurt.
Yep. They have welcomed Tim Lincecum though to their rotation, and he gave them a lift.
One good start already.
Yep. Foul ball. Hit sharply. Orbit was over in that area. Foul territory, 3rd base line in front of the Angels dugout, entertaining in his pregame routine. Mike Trout playing along a little bit.
Mike Trout wanted no part of the dance contest.
No.
So instead he just hangs out a line shot off the board and left to start the game.
Yeah. Yeah, he was saving his energy for when it counted. Now a full count to Marwin. Marwin starting for the 13th time in the last 14 games.
Sometimes as a utility player, you get maybe the not earned reputation of not being able to play a lot of games as a starter.
He draws a walk. That's the second of the game for Santiago.
But I would say to this point, Marlins done a real nice job with it. Jose Altuve, he's the long ball guy, if you forgot, number 11 last night. That they listed at 431 here. I've also heard 441. This was a previous shot in Milwaukee the first week of the season. 442. That was when he was feeling even stronger, apparently. No cheapies for Jose, and he's closing in on 1,000 hits.
He and shoeless Joe Jackson share some stats. Altuve ripped one deep to center field, caught by Mike Trout his first time up. Inside, ball one. Brett Dolan has something for us.
Well, guys, after Mike Scioscia's media availability today, our friend Mark Berman posed a question to Mike. What do you think of Jose Altuve? He said he has the best hand-eye coordination I've ever seen. He says he's as close to a complete player as you can be, a force offensively and defensively, and said he's one of the great young stars in Major League Baseball.
Santiago throws to Simmons. Simmons on to Cron, and that's a double play. 1-6-3. We go to the fifth inning. 2-0 Angels. Is presented by Lowe's. Let's check ERAs at home. Since 2000, the Astros' best was in 2005 at 3.07. So far this year, a 3.21, ranked second.
That's pretty impressive when you consider some of the guys that were on that staff back in 2005, the World Series year. Right. Great numbers last year, and it added up to a chance to get into the postseason.
2-0 Angels. Simmons is the batter. There's strike one for Colin McHugh. Simmons hit a fly ball to center in the second inning. Trout's RBI single in the first off the left field wall scored a run. Another came in on Cron's homer in the fourth. Dazzling curve makes it 0-2 to Simmons. Quite a quote that Brett Dolan gave us from Mike Scioscia. Scioscia is the longest tenured manager in the majors, 17th season with the Angels. And he's the only active manager to collect over 1,000 victories with a single club. And he was glowing in his praise of Altuve.
Well, I think that, yeah, Mike's a smart guy, and he's been a great manager for a long time. But anybody who's played this game who gets a chance to watch Jose Altuve play the game and doesn't come away just maybe overly impressed, they're just not watching closely.
Scioscia was quite a competitor as a catcher for the Dodgers for all those years.
Yeah, he was a big part of why the Dodgers were such a bitter rival of the Astros during those years. Those were great rivalries.
2-2. Here's a surprising fact about Scioscia's tenure with the Angels, 17 years. That ties him with Sparky Anderson with Detroit, and it's the second longest tenure with an American League team.
Ever?
Backhanded Correa, slick, and he gets him.
Yeah, I think it's only fitting when a shortstop pulls highway robbery on a guy that it'd be another shortstop. The guy that's done it time and time again on many a hitter. Colin gets a little defensive help. This is a good defensive club. And I think Carlos had this sized up all the way. I think all of that was kind of scheduled in his mind how he was going to make that play.
Yudel Escobar is 1 for 2. Most of us could schedule that all day long and fail to come up with it. There's strike one.
Yeah, planning and execution are two different things, aren't they?
1-1. Connie Mack, who owned the Philadelphia Athletics, allowed himself to manage for a long time. 50 years. He's the all-time leader in tenure with an American League club. And many suggested he should have fired himself after all those last place finishes he had.
It's an act that's hard to pull off.
1-2. So then it's Scioscia and Sparky Anderson behind Connie Mack with 17 years.
How long was Tommy Lasorda the skip of the Dodgers?
Walt Alston was about 24 years. He was longer than Lasorda.
All one-year contracts.
Yeah. But that's National League. We're talking American League only. Lasorda had a nice long tenure, though.
I had scheduled the fact I wanted to talk National League manager, by the way, Brownie.
Well, Lasorda had 21, so you're right on with that. Bobby Cox had 21 with Atlanta. So they're, of course, longer than Scioscia and Sparky with Detroit.
I wonder how much Mike Scioscia would credit Tommy Lasorda for what he's learned in becoming a skip.
Well, you'd have to credit him quite a bit, I would think. Springer in right, 2 outs.
Join the Astros at Minute Maid Park on Saturday, July 2nd, as they take on the White Sox. 10,000 fans will get a Carlos Correa Rookie of the Year bobblehead that's presented by Coca-Cola. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Two outs for Colin McHugh. Calhoun's the batter. He was hit by a pitch and he reached on an infield hit. That's strike one. Scioscia was really something as a player too, and he was good on that hit and run play, wasn't he, Ash?
You know what? He's a big guy, but he wasn't the power hitter you might think with his size. He was more the guy that kind of sliced and diced with the bat at times. He could put it where he wanted.
Right. 1-1.
Well, he was a power guy blocking the plate, though.
One of the best ever. He took a ton of punishment.
Oh, I think he handed out a whole lot more.
I remember Billy Dorn clocked him one time at home plate. He said, "Nice hit, Billy."
Yeah, I remember that Bill Dorn collision. That was pretty good.
Oh. Well, Scioscia would just drop down on home plate and cover it. So how in the world could you get there to score? You'd have to knock him off it, and that's what base runners tried to do. That's not that easy.
Being reminded that Norm Charlton, a pitcher, was a guy that gave him a pretty good licking.
That's true. Fly ball to Marisnick in left. That's a 1-2-3 fifth for Colin. He's retired 6 in a row. 2-0 Angels.
Jimmy Johns. Let's take a look at some longish home runs. Chicks dig the long ball. I think they're probably enjoying this stuff as Carlos Correa launched a long one. His longest, though, last year against the Angels. And by the way, you might see a theme here as they're coming against Hector Santiago, the left-hander, on the hill here tonight. So let's see if Carlos Correa has some of those same memories.
He does. High and deep left center field, just below the train for another big home run for Correa. Number 11. And the Astros hit the scoreboard on his 37th run batted in. They trailed 2-1.
Man, do you have timing, Browning?
Thank you, Carl Patterson, for orchestrating that whole thing.
Yeah, that worked out rather nicely. Carlos Correa is appreciative.
That's a blast.
Yeah, we talked about it last night. His swing starting to look like the real deal once again.
Now Carlos Gomez takes ball one. Correa is letting the bat fly. He hit the 2-run homer last night in the 6th inning. So he's cranking it up again now. 2-0 to Gomez.
Yeah, when he is able to come up with that type of swing, and it's obvious. I mean, you love to see a guy hit a home run every time, but it just makes so much difference in this offense.
Trout way back in left center, makes the grab. We look back at Correa.
Mike Trout making another fine play, but Carlos Correa, that's just letting it fly. And his talent is so much on the extreme side. You love seeing this. Just don't mess up the train up there. I don't mind watching that time and time again.
Danny Worth hit a fly ball to right earlier. This one flares foul. Crone over. 2 outs. Brett.
Hey guys, remember AJ Hinch said before the game that batting cleanup, he feels like Carlos Correa has been much more aggressive on the first pitch. First time up, he took a couple of strikes, but not the second time. First pitch, home run.
That has been a change in the last couple of weeks or so. He's got more aggressive earlier in the count.
Where it really makes a difference for me is when he has men on base, in particular in scoring position. That's a slot where, wouldn't you love in I don't know how far out in the future with Carlos Correa to be able to say, this is the game's finest run producer. And I think he could be that guy.
He's now number 2 on the all-time Houston shortstop home run list. Gaddis pops it up. Giovitello over. Crone is there with the catch. So Correa now with 32 career homers has broken the tie with Dickie Thon. Only Adam Everett with 35 has more among Houston shortstops. Correa with his 11th makes it 2-1 Angels after 5. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Lexus, the new 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. It's next level luxury. The train was rolling for Carlos Correa. Now it's backing up a little bit in left center field. 2-1 ball game. Colin McHugh works the 6th inning with Mike Trout. Breaking pitch, strike one to Trout. Trout rammed an RBI single off the left field wall in the first. He bounced into a force play in the third. That's called strike two. What's that all about, eh?
No, I think they've got one of those college parties going on after the game.
Is that a Trout hat?
It looks more like a squid hat to me.
It's a squid. Or lobster. 1-2. Think Trout will ever play for the Marlins?
It'd be the big fish in the fish pond, huh?
Flared to right field. Springer hustles over for it near the line, lays out, can't make the catch. Here's Trout chugging for second base. He's going to keep going to third. Springer makes a long throw to third base, and he has a triple. Second triple of the year for Trout.
It's a crazy game when you can hit a ball like Trout did right here and get 3 backs and get only a single with the line shot off the boards in left field in the first inning. All out effort by George Springer, but that defense had him out of position. Fight it off and get 3 bags. You know, if you're Colin McHugh, you did exactly what you wanted with that pitch.
Yeah. Now the shift is on for Daniel Nava. Valbuena's at the edge of the grass at third. The other infielders are back, except for Marwin at first. There's strike one. Nava has struck out twice in this game. Cron is on deck. That was hit number 5 for the Angels. One and one. Holland faced the Angels 4 times in 2014, 3 times last year. Two and one to Nava. Good curve makes it 2-2 now. Batting average on his curveball is .223 this year. Cincinnati leads at Texas 6-2. Infield moves in now. It's a strikeout. Number 6.
Daniel Nava not handling that curveball tonight. And a big first out. Now can Colin McHugh did what he did back in the what he did back in the first inning. Battling out of a jam.
Now with 1 out, A.J. Hinch is going to leave his infielders in. Cron hit a homer in the 4th after striking out in the first inning. When he batted in the first, he had runners at second and third and 1 out. Fouls that one for strike 1. They're in the 6th in Arlington, Texas, with the Reds on top of the Rangers 6-2. Colby Lewis gave up 6 earned runs in 5 innings. That has not happened often this year. One ball, 1 strike. Rangers have really blazed a trail atop the AL West. They're going to be hard to catch.
Really a club that's been led by newcomer Ian Desmond.
Yeah. They have a .648 winning percentage. Line, Correa snags it, tosses to third, safe. Very good play by Correa.
Yeah, he can play the game, every aspect of it. And then the reaction after the catch. You also have to say that Mike Trout was very alert and reacted perfectly.
You're right.
That hand of Trout, I don't know if it got to the bag and then came off. Yeah, that's what it appeared to happen. So he gets back to the bag. That beats the force on that play, and then he eventually gets back to the bag.
A lot of guys would be doubled off on that. Marte is 0 for 2.
See if we can see any better on this play. Well, suffice it to say that on both parts, Correa and Trout, exceptional play.
Yes. In for a strike. It's 1-1 to Marte.
That curveball all night long.
One and two. Marte was with Detroit last year. Fouled away. Came in a trade in January. 25 years old today. Hit 4 homers and 80 at bats with the Tigers last year. Flick foul. This is the 5th game between these two this season. There will be 14 games remaining after tonight between the Astros and Angels. Two and two. Full count. Giovatello on deck. Ball 4. Marte takes the first walk of the night.
Follow Astros baseball live with MLB.com. That's the at-bat app. Stay up to the moment with game day, StatCast, live highlights, and more, even when you're at the game with Minute Maid Park's new Wi-Fi. Download the app for your phone or tablet right now.
McHugh with 1 walk has hit a batter. He struck out 6. Santiago has walked a couple. Giovatello is 0 for 2. Ball 1 to him.
Nice job on that 3-2 curveball by Evan Gattis behind the plate. Mike Trout down at third base puts a lot of heat on the catcher.
The Orioles lead San Diego 6-3 at the end of 5 in Baltimore. In for a strike, 1-1. According to reports, Orioles skipper Buck Showalter none too pleased that the Texas Rangers scheduled a night game when the Orioles went there for one game to make up an earlier season rainout, and that made their arrival back in Baltimore very late, where they're playing tonight.
Actually, I thought there were rules when you were traveling eastward.
Yeah, not sure about how that works. Little roller. McHugh tosses to Marwin. Leadoff triple. No runs, one hit, 2 men left. Middle of the 6th inning. 2-1 Angels.
We have a winner in our Chevy Stro poll. Earlier we wanted to know what was the most mischievous Astros moment, and Tyler White's car in the outfield was an overwhelming winner. I think that's pretty hard to beat.
I don't think Tyler White agrees.
He was none too pleased at examining that dent in the roof.
Yeah, that amazing fly ball hit by Carlos Gomez during batting practice.
Players took care of it, though. There's strike one. Luis Valbuena single to right and was thrown out trying to stretch it to a double in the 3rd inning by Cole Calhoun. 2-1 Angels. Valbuena drives one foul. It's 0-2 with Marisnick on deck. Springer due up 3rd against Hector Santiago, shooting for his 5th win of the year. His strikeout rate is down quite a bit the last 7 starts for Santiago. He struck out 3 tonight. Astros have lost a couple of runners on the bases, and they've hit into a double play. Mike Trout has made a fine catch tonight. That one hit him on the right hand, and on the 0-2 pitch, Valbuena will take first base.
Maybe a painful jump start to a rally here.
4th hit batsman for Santiago this year.
Just a curveball that didn't break the way Santiago anticipated.
Oh boy, that's a vulnerable spot. Looked like it was around the pinky finger, Ash, on the right hand.
Yeah, you know, that's very close to what happened with Mike Trout last night, but instead of hitting the knob of the bat, it obviously hit some fingers.
Time Valbuena's been hit by a pitch this year, and he's feeling for that little finger on the right hand. Jake Marisnick walked, and then he was thrown out on a pickoff throw trying to steal in the 3rd inning. Marisnick wants the signs again from Gary Pettis, the 3rd base coach. He perhaps might be bunting here. Springer on deck. Astros down by a run. Showing bunt, and it's ball one.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if that sacrifice bunt. It probably is trying to bunch your way on with a base hit, and if it fails, come up with the sacrifice in the process.
Sacrifice bunt is not A.J. Hinch's favorite play.
Most, and this is not just on A.J., but most people around the game today do not want to give up outs.
No sign of a bunt there, and it's 2-0. Well, even if Marisnik were to hit into a force play at second, he has the speed, if he's the runner at first, to come around and score on an extra base hit or maybe steal a base.
That's actually one of those swaps you'd take in a heartbeat.
Yep. High left field near the foul pole, but going foul. Way up there.
You know, you watch Jake for a prolonged period of time and you think, I don't know, I don't see the home run power that produced 9 dingers last year. But that was it right there. A great swing. Just gets out in front. He let it fly, a la Carlos Correa and the big guy Altuve.
Strike makes it 2-2 now.
Sometimes pitchers will benefit from pitches that may not be in the strike zone. That may have been the case there.
Double play ball here. Simmons gets it to second, and then there's the turn for 2 by Giovitella. 6-4-3. Second double play for Santiago tonight.
Simmons may not swing the big bat anymore now with the Angels, but he's worth a lot on that defensive side. He's quick. The way he set it up, Giovitella had a rather easy opportunity to get the double play.
Simmons does get rid of that ball so quickly. With a nice firm feed. George Springer 0 for 2. Inside ball 1.
Yeah, like with so many things, location also crucial on that play, where you get that throw for your second baseman.
Two-0 to Springer. Pedro Alvarez has hit a pair of home runs for Baltimore tonight, giving him 9. San Diego Padre Club rumored to be talking deals with several teams. And for a strike, 2-1.
Andrelton Simmons came from the Atlanta Braves and actually had a big year where he hit 17 home runs, but defensively a wizard.
Mike Trout over for the catch to end the 6th inning with the score 2-1 Angels.
You can learn all about Minute Maid Park with a behind-the-scenes look at historic Union Station, luxury suites, the Diamond Club, and much more. For more information, visit astros.com/tours or call 713-259-8996 to schedule your tour today.
It's a good tour. You get behind the scenes, and you wind up learning quite a bit about this building and the people who inhabit it. That's a historic old train station there. Carlos Perez leads it off in the 7th, 2-1 Angels. Curveball, strike one for Colin McHugh. Tony Sipp is warming up in the bullpen. Perez is 0 for 2. Simmons on deck. It's no balls, 2 strikes for Colin. And 98 pitches.
Second time tonight in the 6th inning. Colin McHugh able to battle through an inning with a man at third and nobody out.
Ken Giles is now warming up. 1-2. Along with Sipp. Ooh. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pretty close.
That's not a curveball where Colin wanted it, but was it in the strike zone?
It would be acceptable for a strike.
I think I saw a seam in the zone.
Okay. Now 3 balls, 2 strikes.
When things go south for Colin, and they have not here tonight until that pitch, that's where it goes. That fastball starts to run in on his arm side.
That'll hang for Marwin Gonzalez. 1 out. A look at our Quicken Loans Rocket Arms down in Fresno now. James Hoyt and Brady Rogers, both of whom are really pitching at a major league level, we're hearing, but there's no room for them right now, Ash.
Look at the strikeouts to walk ratios there. Absolutely great stuff. And James Hoyt, we saw a lot of in the spring. Yeah. Good looking slider in particular.
Excellent. Simmons takes strike one. He's 0 for 2. Now those guys could be here right now if somebody were injured or faltering in performance. They're pitching that well.
Yeah, that's the thing. You look at the current bullpen and say, where do we make an adjustment?
1-1. It's a bullpen that has gotten a little bit more rest the last few days. Ground ball third, Valbuena. 2 outs.
Looked like the glove almost came up a bit early. He's a good defensive third sacker.
Yunel Escobar opened the game with an infield hit, came around to score on a Mike Trout single off the wall and left. He's 1 for 3. Fine game for McHugh. 5 hits and 2 runs allowed. Gonzalez, Altuve, Correa due up in the bottom of the 7th. Inside ball 1. Doug Fister went 7 last night and won his 8th of the year. A happy little fella.
Nothing that a little more offense from the home guys might not make even better.
2-0. Escobar came from Cuba. He was with the Atlanta Braves. In for a strike, 2-1. And he came in a deal to the Angels. They're his 5th team in the last 7 years. He came from Washington for reliever Trevor Gott. Fouled. 2-2.
With that 2-0, Colin comes fastball inside portion and then the cutter away. He's got a nice repertoire.
Escobar hit .314 for Washington last year. He drove in 56 runs. Full count to him. With Calhoun on deck. Rockies 8, Yankees 4, bottom of the 7th at Yankee Stadium. Charlie Blackmon's hit 2 home runs. Up the middle, Altuve, quick throw to first, in time to get Escobar for a 1-2-3 7th for Colin McHugh. 2-1 Angels.
Good time here at the old ballpark. We want you to come celebrate your birthday the Astros way. Cheer on your Astros while throwing a birthday party at Minute Maid Park. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 713-259-8996.
Thank you, Brett. 7th inning stretch here. 2-1 ball game. The Astros come up with Gonzalez, Altuve, and Correa in the bottom of the 7th. Marwin Gonzalez has flied to center and drawn a walk. Colin McHugh may be finished for the night after that 1-2-3 top of the 7th inning.
Excellent job by Colin tonight.
Yes.
Santiago has been really good and efficient. That's 74 pitches this evening.
Strike one.
Well, sometimes you get in a jam. Can you battle out? Colin did a couple of times beautifully this evening.
Santiago gave up the home run to Correa in the 5th inning. A single to Valbuena in the 3rd. Just 2 hits. He's walked 2 and hit a batter. 1-1. He's got 2 double play balls tonight. He has not had to work from the stretch very much. Line drive left field corner. It bounces off the wall, kicks up high. Daniel Nava throws it into second base and safe at second. A double for Marwin Gonzalez, his 12th.
That was gutsy, because that ball, like the ball hit early in the game by Mike Trout off that wall, turns into a really tough opportunity maybe to get a second bag. And we talked about Daniel Nava being the one guy in the outfield from the Angels that you probably want to try to run on, and it pays off right here, but not by much. Pretty good throw.
Just beat the tag from Giovitella.
Aggression wins out.
Hit number 3 for the Astros. Altuve's the batter. He's 0 for 2. A deep drive to center field and a double play ball back to the pitcher. That's why that leadoff double helps so much in a 1-run game. Correa's on deck. Angel bullpen getting busy.
Altuve is so adept at being able to hit to the right side. Let's see if he takes a shot. No.
Jose Altuve is the latest member of our Texas Auto Diamond Kings. We talked about this earlier. 200 hits, 40 doubles, 35 steals in back-to-back seasons, 2014 and 15. The only other player to do that is shoeless Joe Jackson, 19, 11, and 12. My goodness.
Surprising to me with stats like that shoeless Joe remained shoeless.
1 ball, 1 strike. Cam Bedrosian is up in the bullpen for the Angels. Altuve is 4 for 19 in his career against Santiago. He normally rakes against lefties. This lefty has held him down as well as most. And for a strike, 1 and 2. This year, Altuve is hitting .371 against lefties. For his career, .355.
Was it a strike? Don't think so. That's the book way of pitching a guy with a man at second, nobody out. Pitch him in hard, right-hand hitter.
Struck him out. 4th strikeout for Santiago.
That second strike, the call, very costly.
Mike Socha is on his way to the mound with Carlos Correa, who ripped the home run in the 5th inning, due up next. He will make a change right here with a 1-run lead. Bedrosian's been warming up. Santiago leaves in a position to be the winning pitcher after 6 1/3 innings. It's 2-1 Angels. Back in a moment. Marwin Gonzalez ripped a leadoff double. Then Altuve struck out. Santiago out of the game after 80 pitches. Cam Bedrosian in to replace him. 1-0 with a 1.54 ERA.
Now he's got some rather impressive numbers. You talk about that ERA, good whip. Guy who can throw hard. Very hard. 95+ miles an hour is the average on his heater. So the assignment becomes rather tough now.
Carlos Correa prompted the move by this 5th inning swing.
I bet you Mike Socha and company are thinking, how does anybody ever get this guy out? You know that guy on the other club that you feel that way about? For the Angels, gotta believe that it's Carlos Correa.
That was his 3rd homer against the Halos in 5 games this year. Earlier he struck out against Santiago. Gomez is on deck. Bedrosian has not allowed an earned run in each of his last 8 games, covering 7 innings.
I'd love to know the thinking of Mike Scioscia, allowing the lefty Santiago to stay on and face Altuve, who, as you said, has hit over 370 against the lefties, and yet they get the out.
Right. Ball 1. Luke Gregerson's warming up for Houston. Along with Tony Sipp. Paid attendance is 25,004. Bedrosian's 24 years old. Son of Steve Bedrosian, longtime major league reliever. Line drive, deep right field. Calhoun back with the catch in front of the wall. 2 outs.
Looking now at our forward spray chart as we pick things up with Carlos Gomez. Last 6 games, it's gotten a lot better. And picking up hits all over the field, pulling the ball effectively. But the Astros could use one of those hits right about now.
He was struck out looking and hit a deep drive to the warning track in center field tonight. Bedrosian made his major league debut here in June of 2014. He's faced the Astros twice this season, has not allowed a run in a total of 2 innings in those 2 outings in Anaheim. That one almost hit Gomez. Ball 1. Giants are beating the Pirates 11-1 in the 8th inning in Pittsburgh. Johnny Cueto started. He went 6 2/3. Two 2-0. That was a 1-0 win for Pittsburgh last night on an Eric Kratz homer that dropped out of the glove of Angel Pagan as he was draped over that left field wall. He couldn't maintain possession of the ball, and that was the only run. A turn back towards second, and Marwin gets back. Danny Worth is on deck. Good stop by Perez on ball 3. 3-0 to Gomez. He's hit .333 in his last 13 games. Ball 4. Runners at first and second for Danny Worth, who's 0 for 2. Colby Rasmus is coming out to pinch hit for Worth. Nobody warming up in the pen for the Angels.
Yeah, it is seize the moment time right now.
Charles Nagy's the pitching coach for the Angels. He had some excellent years for Cleveland.
These meetings are valid to me when you're able to come out as a pitching coach and mention something that is in the scouting report on a particular hitter. And maybe that's what they're discussing with Colby coming to the plate.
Rasmus, a .234 hitter, has 9 homers, 37 runs batted in, 231 at bats, 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter. He had 3 hits last night and drove in a run. Strike 1. Colby's a .323 hitter with runners in scoring position. With 2 outs and runners in scoring position, he is 12 for 25, .480. Oh, 2.
That at bat for Jose Altuve, a crucial one in the inning.
Struck him out. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left through 7. It's 2-1 Angels.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Houston Astros, LLC, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros, LLC.
Another tight ball game here at Minute Maid Park. We've seen plenty of them this year. Angels 2, Astros 1. We go to the 8th inning. Tony Sipp is on the mound for Houston after an excellent night's work for Colin McHugh. Sipp is 1-2. His ERA rose quite a bit last night to 4.37. Ash.
It was a rough night for Tony. I know a lot of managers have the theory of get a guy back out there as quickly as possible and allow him to turn it around. Big left-handed bat to start the inning.
Cole Calhoun 1 for 2 with a walk, or was hit by a pitch rather. There's strike 1. Fernando Salas is warming up for the Angels. Luke Gregerson still throwing for Houston. Might be a 1-batter appearance for Tony Sipp with Mike Trout on deck. Seattle lost to Detroit 4-2. James Paxton the loser. 1-1. Fernando Rodriguez got his 20th save for the Tigers. Justin Verlander with the no decision as their starter. Kyle Seager hit his 15th bomb for the Mariners. Mariners now 1 game over 500, 36-35. And for a strike, 1-2 to Calhoun. The Astros are 1 game under 500 at 35-36. The Astros 5 games out of the first wild card leader spot. Jake Marisnick comes in left field. 1 out.
Houston Methodist brings us our league leaders as we look at, and we were talking about the Astros and how they've turned things around in the month of May on to this point. From May 1st, that ERA for the Astros bullpen, 2.53, best in all of the major leagues. And that's been a big component of the turnaround for the club.
Jay Hinch will call upon Luke Gregerson with Mike Trout coming up next. Tony Sipp got his man Calhoun needing 4 pitches. It's going to be Ken Giles actually coming in with the score 2-1 Angels. Back in a moment. The Red Sox are the leaders of the 2 wild card teams. The Astros would be 4.5 behind Boston, but 3.5 behind Kansas City right now, which is 38-32, and that's the meeting for the next series, Houston at Kansas City on this weekend. Ash.
Yeah, that's meaningful, obviously, for both clubs, but for the Astros to continue moving in the right direction. But clearly, the Astros would love to take at least 2 out of 3 in this series.
Ken Giles is 0-3. His ERA 5.52. He comes in to face Mike Trout, who has an RBI single and a triple in 3 trips to the plate. Infield is shifted around. That's in for strike 1 right on the edge. Colin McHugh in 7 innings, allowing 5 hits, 2 runs, walked 1, hit a batter, struck out 6 through 111 pitches. 70 were strikes. Tony Sipp threw 4 pitches, 3 were strikes, and getting the fly ball out on Calhoun. George Springer comes over near the right field line and crossing it into foul territory. He won't have a play on it. Hector Santiago was lifted after 6 1/3, giving up 3 hits, 1 run, walking 2, fanning 4, and he threw 80 pitches, 46 for strikes. Giles had the blown save in the Cincinnati series over the weekend on Saturday, giving up 2 runs in 1 inning. Just off the plate, 1 and 2.
quality with that slider. Was it or wasn't it? Very close. And a good call.
Giles was in the game in the 9th in a save situation Saturday and gave up a 2-run homer to Adam Duvall with 2 strikes. This fly ball again goes to about that same area, a little bit further back in the seats. Hey, they picked him up off the floor and he had the ball.
If you're going to go down, make the play.
That's some hustle.
Good anticipation coming with that glove too.
Ripped to left field into the corner, and it's a foul ball. Trout just a little bit out in front of the slider there.
You know, Mike Trout, in my estimation, has turned into one of the game's really outstanding off-speed hitters. Stays back extremely well. Good short compact stroke.
Maybe a 1.5 foot foul or so. He is one of those do-it-all guys, isn't he?
Yeah, we've seen the defense in tonight's game as well.
Inside for a ball, make it 2-2. Astros 7, 8, 9 hitters will be due up in the bottom of the 8th. Braves 3, Marlins 2. They're in the bottom of the 10th at Miami. Jose Fernandez did not give up a run and only allowed 1 hit in his 7 innings tonight against Bud Norris, who allowed 2 runs in 5 1/3. Trout swung at it and struck out.
Even when a guy's a good off-speed hitter, you can still get him. You don't want to shy away from that pitch, and that slider comes through.
Daniel Nava has struck out 3 times tonight.
If you're wondering why was Mike Trout pointing to first base, he didn't want the home plate umpire taking that call.
But he did, and Gary Cederstrom signified the strikeout. Home plate umpire does not have to ask for help. Strike to Nava. The Astros have played 24 one-run games. Angels have played 14. Springer in right. Catches it for the 3rd out. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 2-1 Angels.
2-1 Angels in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's time to play Name That Astro, brought to you by your local Honda dealer. Here are your clues tonight. An expansion team made him first in flight.
Wow, I know who that is
Secretaries
already.
liked his baked goods. Baked goods? I got to hear more about this later on.
All right.
Secretaries liked his baked goods. That's just awful. Brett, I can't believe you're going to run that stuff out there.
Keep it to yourself, Ash.
I tried to, but it gets away from me.
Fernando Salas is in the game. In relief for the Angels to try to protect their 2-1 lead. Evan Gattis leads it off for the Astros in the home 8th inning. He's 0 for 2. Salas, the 31-year-old veteran, formerly with the St. Louis Cardinals, goes to work.
And here I thought Brett Dolan was a good man.
It's ball 1. Salas took a loss Friday night at Oakland. He gave up 2 hits, including a walk-off single to Billy Burns. Gattis is 3 for 8 against him. In for a strike to make it 1-1. Cam Bedrosian worked 2/3 of an inning, allowing no hits, no runs, walking 1 and fanning 1. The Astros got a run off Salas in Anaheim, and he got a blown save. 2-1. That was May 29th in a game the Astros won in 13 innings. He had a 5-4 lead in the 8th, and it got away from them. Gattis has had some good swings against Salas. He bounces that one. Now 3-1.
Nothing wrong with a walk right about now.
Leadoff walks are supposed to be trouble, right, Ash?
You don't ever want to be on the other side of them, that's for sure.
Valbuena will be next. Then Marisnick is due up 3rd. Ball 4. That's the leadoff walk. 4th walk of the night for Angel pitching.
It'll be a pitch runner time, Brownie.
Tony Kemp takes over for Gattis at first. That leaves one bench player remaining, Jason Castro. Luke Gregerson is up along with Will Harris for the Astros in the bullpen. Valbuena has singled, and then he was thrown out trying to stretch it to a double, and he was hit by a pitch in the 6th. Simmons is up the middle, but still on the 3rd base side of second base. And the throw goes over on Kemp. Tony is 1 for 1 in stolen bases as a major leaguer. White Sox won tonight 3-1 at Boston, and Chris Sale became the first 12-game winner in the majors. Fouled away, strike 1. He has a lock on an all-star berth. He's 12-2 with a 2.83 ERA.
The only thing I want to know about those numbers is how did he lose 2 games?
Yeah. Gave up 1 run in 7 innings, walking 1 and fanning 9 tonight. The save from David Robertson, his 18th. Clay Buchholz was the loser.
By the way, the fans are coming on strong on the Name That Astro.
Okay, good. They always do, don't they?
Let's not go too far.
No balls, 2 strikes. Well, you're acting pretty smug over there, knowing the answer tonight.
Baked goods.
Baked goods. You know it's not Dusty Baker.
That Carl Patterson is a devious fella.
Valbuena started the bat. He checked his swing. The appeal went down to Ramon De Jesus. 1-2. White Sox with that win are now 1 game under 500 at 35-36. Red Sox at 39-31, as you might have noticed earlier on that graphic. Foul back. St. Louis leads the Cubs at Chicago 4-3 at the end of 7. Cardinals beat the Cubs last night at Wrigley. Adam Wainwright started for them tonight. Trout goes over into left center field, gets underneath it. Shane Robinson gives way to him. Robinson just took over and left from Daniel Nava. And it's out number 1. Now Jason Castro will pinch hit for Jake Marisnick.
Well, Castro was already destined to be in the ball game with Evan Gattis being pinch run for.
That's an excellent point. As A.J. Hinch pulls out all the stops, uses all of his position players in this one. 208 for Castro, 6 homers, 18 runs batted in. He has not had a pinch hit at bat all season. His on base average is .341. He's drawn 31 walks. Castro takes ball 1. Castro is 1 for 3. That one hit a homer off Salas. That came last year. He hit a game-winning 3-run homer at Houston off the right-hander. It's 1-1. Castro went deep in last night's game in the 7th inning. Going 1 for 4 as the starting catcher. Inside to Jason. 2-1. George Springer's on deck. The Angels will have Cron, Marte, and Giovatello due up in the 9th. And a throw goes to first on Kemp. Matt Holliday at his 13th long ball for the Cardinals tonight. Matt Carpenter, number 11. Foul, and that'll be out of play. 2-2.
Yeah, Brownie, I just saw the question come up. Who is the Astros backup catcher in the event that Castro and Gattis both go down in a game? And it had been Tyler White.
Right.
But now I'm not sure there is that man.
No.
I don't know if Marwin becomes the super sub at that point.
There may not be too many volunteers for that job.
I don't know that might come with the baked goods portion of the program.
Ooh. On throw to first. Kemp is back. Kemp does not have a big lead. Kemp has stolen a lot of bases in the minor leagues. Bouncer, Giovatello diving, flipping to Simmons, barehand throw to first to Cron for a spectacular double play. That is some infield magic from Giovatello, who went sprawling on his chest, flipping out of the glove to Simmons, who barehanded and relayed on to Cron.
Toyota Tundra. Colin McHugh really good on the hill for the Astros tonight. He's trailing in a bad spot at the moment, but that curveball was huge as he was able to pick up 6 strikeouts tonight. Did allow a home run, but he battled out of a couple of innings that could have allowed the Angels to get away from the Astros. Instead, it's a 1-run game, and Colin McHugh, quality start and really better than that. 7 innings with just 2 runs against him.
2-1 game. The Angels come up in the 9th inning against Luke Gregerson. Tony Kemp is in the game in left field. Jason Castro is the catcher. Gregerson works to C.J. Cron, who homered in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 3. Gregerson was spectacular on Saturday, striking out the side on 14 pitches against the Reds. That's ball 1. Jeffrey Marte is on deck. Houston Street warming up in the bullpen for the Angels. Gregerson 13 for 18 in saves, 0-1. Broken bat looper. Bounce and Correa. 1 out. Brett Dolan.
Well, guys, it's time to name that Astro, brought to you by your local Honda dealer. And I'm finding out reading the clues is like surfing the internet. You have to use some caution. Not everything is above the board. So I'm not even going to read those again. But doesn't the silhouette just give it away in and of itself?
Absolutely. Yeah.
There he is.
I'm just proud that I had hair back in that day.
It's a good looking flow.
On my head, too.
First in flight for the Blue Jays.
Oh, wow. Yeah. There you go. That's an impressive look.
Jeffrey Marte's the batter. He's 0 for 2 with a walk.
Couldn't you just leave that on the screen a little longer?
Okay. If you really insist, there it is.
Yeah. Thanks.
Like those old time unis, don't you?
Yeah, those were great. Kind of like the old Atlanta Brave blues they had.
We'll be back tomorrow night.
Nothing scared a man more than seeing the Blue Jays were coming their way.
0-2 to Marte. Mets beat the Royals 2-1 in New York. Tap foul, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. The Astros will have the top 3 hitters due up in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's take another look.
Good grief. Could you find any more of the worst photos of all time that a man's taken? Yeah, I'm sure they'll come along with them.
You could have brought your own in. Had you known.
I've got them with me in the briefcase. Trying to keep them out of the hands of others.
Gregerson has pitched scoreless ball his last 4 times. Yes.
I was going to say you can only burn so many of those photos.
Okay. 1-2. First in flight.
Yes.
The Blue Jays.
Yeah, there you go. And you thought it happened in North Carolina.
What was the clue about the Baker all about? What's that all
so
about?
you're in the blind on that one, huh?
Yeah.
I think we need to leave it that way.
All right.
Yeah.
2-2. Brett Dolan, do you know what that's all about?
Well, I didn't know. I read it, and then I ask between innings, and I find out. And I feel like I'm hung out to dry. By the truck, you know?
You are.
All right. What does it mean?
I don't even know if I could touch that, really.
Come on.
To be honest with you.
All right.
Brownie, you've seen me walk into a room. Come on.
Okay.
Enough said.
Gotcha. Gotcha. It's magical when you walk in.
One of the nicknames along the way was Buns. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's true. You guys have talked about that
That's true.
before.
Like you've used that. Huh?
Well, no, but
Yeah.
you and Blummer have talked about that before.
Yeah. Brett Dolan is such a scaredy cat.
Yeah. 3-2 now to Marte.
Yeah, that's
About this
another
shot.
good one. Thanks so much, guys.
We have more.
I'm drowning. Yeah.
Is there anything from the 5th grade, guys?
Very appreciative. That was.
Bounce foul.
Clean up, aisle 7.
There we go.
Aisle 7.
Like the
That is
tilted
too
back
funny.
look.
Yeah. That was actually taken as an Indian. They put the hat on.
Oh, okay.
Postscript.
Airbrushed it on.
Yeah. Had that foo working.
Knock him out. 2 down for Gregerson. Gio Vitella comes up next. He is 0 for 3. His 9-game hitting streak on the line. Hey, look at this from Mike Cannon. You look very fit.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was on the thin side back in those days. I heard that it was thin to win, and so I tried it for a while.
That's strike 1 on a good slider. Tell you what, you take about 35 years off people, and they will look fit, right?
That might be. Let's see. Might be. Yeah, that's probably a truism. I'll just go with that. Okay.
All right.
I don't know. In the case of Babe Ruth, I wonder if that was true.
Maybe not. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Somebody says I've got my golf glove on in one of those photos. We didn't get like 100 pair of batting gloves back in those days.
No.
We would take a golf glove literally and wear it out there. Of course, it would tear in about 2 swings.
Yeah. You don't want to ruin a good golf ball. Oh, he's getting some swings that don't look too great on that slider tonight, Ash.
That's the one that he's always looking for in those closing situations. Raleigh fingers mustache, huh? No, that wasn't anything at all like Raleigh's. He had a real one. Now I'm hearing Luke Gregerson mustache.
Oh, close. 2-2. 5 hits for the Angels, 3 for the Astros tonight. A 1st inning RBI single by Trout. A 4th inning homer by Crone, accounting for the 2 Angel runs tonight. The Astros have a Correa homer. Altuve. And the tag by Marwin Gonzalez gets him. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Alan Ashby promises excitement in the bottom of the ninth. 2-1 Angels. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Toyota. Let's go places. 2-1 Angels. Mike Scioscia has made some changes in his club for the bottom of the ninth. The Astros come up trailing by 1. They've been out hit 5-3. Springer, Gonzalez, and Altuve to bat against the closer Houston Street. New second baseman in the game as well, Gregorio Petit. Street is 2-0. He's 7 for 8 in saves. Ash.
Now the Astros have had some success against Houston Street. Remember back to last year, that big comeback in Anaheim. Preston Tucker got it all started with a home run. It was Jed Lowry who came up with the eventual game winner, a pinch hit, I believe 3-run home run in that game. And so a little repeat time here.
Well, Street is currently in 17th place on the all-time saves list with 322 for his career. He was on the disabled list earlier this year, missed 32 games with the left oblique muscle strain from the third week in April through the end of May. He'll face George Springer. He's 0 for 3. Gonzalez on deck, and then Altuve. Street got his 7th save Tuesday night. Got his first blown save of the year Saturday night against Cleveland with 3 earned runs allowed. In for strike 1. Street is 32 years old. Born in Austin, Texas. His father, James Street, a quarterback at Texas. And of course, legendary in the fact that he led UT to the Football National Championship 1969. Well, Houston was a part of the 02 College World Series championship team for the Longhorns. 2 balls and a strike. Last year against the Astros, he was 1-2 with a 7.84 ERA. You talked about that game late in the year. Foul back.
George Springer, by the way, had a key triple in that inning.
Springer is 1 for 3 against Street in his career. Street is not a hard thrower. Upper 80s on the fastball most of the time. Good command of the slider, excellent changeup. Springer fans hoping George can turn one around. That's in the dirt. It's a full count to Springer.
You put George Springer on with a walk to start this inning, or any way he can get on, that would not be meaningless at all with his speed.
Since 2012, Street has the top save conversion percentage in the majors, 92.3%. Foul ball right there on the edge on that slider. Springer had to protect. The Angels are in very good shape usually when Street is on the mound. They've only lost once when they've led after 8 innings this year. That's ball 4.
Ooh.
Leadoff walk.
Ooh, I hate to see pitch taken that close. Fortunately, the call goes George's way.
Marwin Gonzalez, when he's had 4 at-bats or more in a game in his career, has hit .277 compared to .226 when he's had 3 at-bats or fewer. This will be his 4th trip to the plate. He is 1 for 2 with a walk.
Yeah, that's an intriguing stat, and it says he's been better as a starter than as a guy who comes in late.
He is 0 for 2 lifetime against Street. Springer with 5 steals in 11 tries measures a short lead. Altuve on deck. Could it be a bunt? Go to first. Baseman Escobar is in on the grass. Marwin has 1 sacrifice this year. He takes ball 1. There were 2 blown saves for Street against the Astros last year. One was at Anaheim May 7th. The Astros got 3 in the 9th. The other one, that one you talked about, September 13th at Anaheim, they got 5 in the 9th. He got the first 2 outs in that inning, and then he gave up 5 straight 2-out hits, including those homers you mentioned by Preston Tucker and Jed Lowry.
Yeah, that was a 3-0 Angels lead, as you say, with 2 outs in the inning, and 2 strikes on Preston Tucker before he homered.
Lowry was a pinch hit 3-run homer author in that one. Now 2-0.
If you're wondering about the running game against Street, he's allowed only 1 bag this year in 1 try. Over his career, he's been susceptible to the running game. 51 stolen bases, just 13 caught.
Springer goes. Throw from Perez. Not in time. Big stolen base for George Springer. The pitch was strike 1.
Not an easy bag because from behind the plate, Perez throws very well. That's full gear. Well, you have to make sure you maintain the bag these days.
Blow, such a big play by Springer. Now Marwin is talking with the home plate umpire. Perhaps debating that strike call on the stolen base. The count was 2-0. Springer said sail. The pitch was called strike 1. That's probably Springer's biggest steal of the year right there.
Very meaningful 90 feet, that's to be sure.
Now to get him to third. That's the task of Marwin.
Yeah, the Astros have not done well in this scenario tonight. A lot of people would love to see the bunt. One of those at-bats was Altuve, and there was a tough call on Jose in that sequence.
Now Perez goes out to talk with Street. Fernando Salas in 1 inning, allowed no hits, no runs, had a walk and no strikeouts. Well, the relief pitching tonight by both teams has really been front line. Marlin around to bunt, takes ball 3, and it's 3-1. Good judgment by Gonzalez. He swings away and fouls it. Full count. The Astros have not won a game this year when they've trailed after 8 innings. 0-31.
It's time you turn that around, Brownie.
Let's see what this 3-2 pitch will bring. Ball 4.
A lot of people are going to feel like this is time for the bunt. I don't take the bat out of Altuve's hands. I don't think any manager in the major leagues would now. He may choose to lay down a bunt, but it gets dicey after that because you've got Correa with first base open. The Angels would walk him, and that moves it to Gomez and on through this lineup. So I think it gets statistically maybe not a worthwhile endeavor.
Excellent thinking. A .339 hitter who's very good with men in scoring position. Gift to swing the bat, doesn't he?
For me.
Escobar's in tight at third. He's even with a base. Cronin tight at first. Altuve swings the bat. It hits the bag at third. Everybody's safe. Escobar couldn't locate the baseball, and Altuve gets a single off the third base bag.
Well, if that ball gets down the line, you're looking at a track meet at that point.
Base is loaded, nobody out.
Let's see if this hits the bag or the glove. I couldn't tell, and I still can't. Yeah, that may have hit the bag. You're right.
Well, it looked like it hit the body of Escobar.
Yeah.
Might have hit him in the rib cage.
I couldn't tell if it came up off the bag or
top of the bag, and then off his glove.
Yeah, that changes everything at that point. But again, that's a heck of a play by Escobar. That ball gets down the line, and the Astros may be celebrating right about now.
You bet. Now the infield comes in. Carlos Correa, the batter. He homered in the 5th. He's 1 for 3. Bases loaded, nobody out. Ball 1 to Correa.
I will guarantee you this is the one man here in this kind of scenario that Mike Scioscia didn't want to face in this inning.
The Astros have won 7 times in their final at-bat. They've all come in extra innings.
Carlos Correa has 3 of those.
1-1.
Had that 13th inning walk-off pinch hit home run against the Angels. Not walk-off, rather, but it was in Anaheim and probably felt like walk-off to the Angels.
Yep. And a game-winning single here in the bottom of the 13th against Baltimore. And a game-winning single in the bottom of the 12th here against Oakland. Straight talks it over with Perez. Carlos Gomez on deck. The Angels would only be able to turn a double play unless something really unusual happened on a home to first type situation. Well, perhaps they could go They have to go home to get the fours.
Yeah, that's the only way, other than that ground ball right to the bag at third where you turn 3. And
yeah. And for strike 2, 1-2.
Carlos Correa nodded his head yes, but I don't know. That's maybe a seam or two on the strike zone.
Correa's at 284 with men in scoring position. That's a ball. 2-2.
Great job laying off the splitter.
Correa's 1 for 1, a double off Street. Foul ball, out of play. Through May 23rd, the Astros were 10-16 in games decided by 1 or 2 runs. Since then, they've gone 10-5 in those close games. Simmons at shortstop, talking with Escobar at third. Inside, and now it's 3-2.
Well, I don't think Houston Street gives in and throws a fastball, even in this scenario.
Correa's a .356 career hitter against the Angels. Line drive right center field. That'll win the game. Springer scores. Gonzalez scores. And there's another game winner for Carlos Correa. 3-2 Astros in the bottom of the 9th.
Have some fun, guys. You've earned it. Back to 500.
The 4th game-winning hit in the final at-bat for Correa.
Special players, and they do come up with special moments.
What a job in the clutch. The Astros had been stymied most of the night by the Angels pitching staff, and then they drew 2 walks, an infield hit, and a game winner to right center by Correa.
And as suspected, I believe that was the splitter that Carlos Correa was able to stay back on and line into the gap. Let's take a look. Yeah, well, could have been the fastball, actually. He was ready for anything. And again, those big moments are starting to be owned by Correa.
Officially, it goes as a single, a 2-run single for the first time the Astros have won a game when they've trailed after 8. And for only the 2nd time all season, they're at 500. They were 1-1 April 6th. They're 36-36 June 21st. Back to 500 after winning 19 of 27 games. 3-2, a thriller in the bottom of the 9th. Back in a moment.